Whew. What is up? Here we are, installment one of my journey to Cocodona. I know that it's bad luck to make a video series about a race, hype it up. My view is that it'll just be pretty fun to document things, to give people a peek behind the curtain of life, juggling training for 240 miler, working on open fuel, holding down my day job, trying to be a good partner and friend. And here's Woody, my running buddy. All right, we did it. Signed up for the Cocodona 240. I think it might actually be a couple extra miles. I'll have to double check on that. But really excited to be launching this Cocodona Diaries working title, just to share my journey, my training up to Cocodona and really be transparent with it, and then hopefully end in a nice finale with a successful race. Looking back on this year, there's definitely mixed success, but it ended on a high note. I ran Cocodona in March, which was actually a pretty solid race. I was a bit injured, had an adductor strain going into it. The conditions were pretty gnarly, snowed a lot, rained a lot, so it was quite muddy, which is not the best for an adductor injury because you're sliding a lot. But I ended up finishing 12th after going out pretty conservative, which I was happy with, and ran strong the last 10 miles. Then I was injured with the upper hamstring injury that I think was related to the adductor injury for the late spring, early summer, which put my plans to run CCC a little bit at risk. Thankfully, turned the corner with 8 weeks to go to the race and put in a solid 8-week block, which is definitely not enough for CCC, but still was really grateful to be able to line up on the starting line and be. All right, I got to refilm this because Theo just showed up. We got a lot of animals, so expect to see them in the video. There's nothing up there. There's nothing up there. Come here, dude. All right, picking this back up. Theo is killing me. But I was really grateful to be able to line up and go out a couple weeks early for training, soak in the experience of being in Chamonix, and finished in 12 hours and 30 minutes, came in 52nd overall, I believe, and maybe like 45th male. Then the week after, got married in Taos, New Mexico. Was unsure about my racing plans for the rest of the year. Was feeling the stoke though, so I signed up for the Javelina 100 miler. Was already planning to go down to Javelina to support open fuel athlete Will Murray, who ended up winning the race and setting a course record. Documentary coming, documenting that weekend. But I jumped in the 100 milers. My first 100 miler went well, as I mentioned in the intro, finished 6th and ran 13:30. And that was great. Also might be a little dangerous because it just sets different expectations for Cocodona. The major thing that I'm just fearful of with training for Cocodona is not the act of running 240 miles. It's how to be adequately prepared for that while balancing everything else in life that I've chosen to take on or be accountable for. Like first and foremost, that is my wife and our family of mainly animals, but our extended family, my community of friends and network in Denver. Open Fuel being a side project that is growing, my day job as a product manager, and then also a nonprofit that I'm really involved with. So that's a lot on top of training 12 to 20 hours a week. So we're going to try to make it work and be pretty real about it on the demands. And we'll just see how it unfolds. The last couple of weeks, I've took some time off and then had a few lower volume weeks, around 6 or 7 hours of training split between cycling and running. This past week, I hit 11 hours, again, split between cycling and running. And then this current week, we are hoping to hit 14 hours of aerobic work Gonna be, I guess, probably 50% running, 25% cycling or stationary bike because it snowed outside, and then 25% on the skis. So the bulk of this volume is gonna come this weekend with a little bit of an overload, few days. Friday is gonna be maybe a 2-hour run, Saturday a 4-hour ski, and then Sunday a 3-hour maybe bike ride, maybe a little bit of a run, but just 3 hours of total work. My coach is Ben Demon. I really align and gravitate towards his philosophy that balances the romantic nature of running with also being very science oriented and dialed. Has success. I've improved a lot while working with him, and he finished second at UTMB this year, so his philosophy works for him too. He also spends a lot of time on the skis in the off season, living in the Pyrenees, and that is probably a precursor of what my winter is going to look like. A lot of time on skis doing skimo, getting the vert that way with some probably more flat running and uphill treadmill workouts thrown in, and then some stationary bike riding. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Stick with me. I am not super practiced in front of a camera, but we're going to get some cool winter running and skiing footage and include that in these videos. I'm going to be really open and transparent about my training, and I know the quality of these videos are going to ramp up as I get more fit and ready for Cocodona, and hopefully culminating in a celebration, race week, and maybe a good result. So we'll see. If you got any races you're excited for next year, leave a comment. Maybe we'll be overlapping. Maybe we'll be there with Open Fuel supporting an athlete or promoting the brand, and we'll catch you all later. Okay, since we're all about transparency here, figured I would quickly share what I'm doing. It's Saturday afternoon. You can see I'm actually looking at the rough cut of my first video, which has already been posted by the time this gets posted. I, on the schedule, have a 4-hour skimo today. We don't have enough snow to do 4 hours of skiing. So my plan was to do a couple hours on the stationary bike, then drive up to A Basin with the dogs and do 2 to 3 hours after the lifts close. But the bike plan might be sacrificed because I have so much going on that I'm trying to do with Open Fuel. We got our new hats in. There's something a little bit off with them in the cat's face that no one but me would probably notice, but they're misprinted, so potentially gonna return them, but I don't love that because of additional shipping impact, and don't want the hats to just be trash, so we'll probably keep them and figure something out there. But if you want some hats, they still look pretty dope. There's just a small minor thing that no one but us would notice. And we also got new bottles that I got to add to the site. 20 ounce fit in a bike cage, pretty sweet. Don't want to become a merch company, but there's a few key things that we want to make sure we have stocked. We're really going to focus on the nutrition and product. So yeah, and I also am like reaching out to a ton of athletes, owe people some shipments, not orders, but people that I want to try the fuel or send them some free fuel for an upcoming race. So kind of have to prioritize that this afternoon, and that's just the reality of things. Something else that's on my plate is I jerry-rigged together using some cardboard what maybe like a retail display, and I promised that I'd wear other things besides a white hat and a black hoodie. This is a different hoodie. It's a sweet one I got at this little vintage or thrift shop at in Aurora Seiko outside of Taos. All right, so we're gonna finish lunch, finish grinding on some stuff, and maybe hop on the bike for an hour and then head up to A Basin, and we'll continue things there.